Hey again. Come by for a chat? Do you need help with anything? Assistance from an angler? Absolutely. I've been trying to collect a record of where each species of fish is located. I figured out most of them on my travels so far, but there are a few I haven't been able to track down. Reckon you could share your info with me? Sure, I can help with that. Great. The fish I have left to track down are oarfish, gulper eel, Goliath tigerfish, and coelacanth. I know a little bit about each species already, so maybe I can point you in the right direction. What did you want to know? Tell me about oarfish. Given that the oarfish has a long and fragile body, I suspect they'll live in reasonably deep but calm water. Maybe the shelter of the Gale cliffs would suit them. Tell me about gulper eels. I know that gulper eels live in the deepest depths imaginable. You'll have to get some specialist gear to catch one of those. Tell me about Goliath tigerfish. These guys are legitimately scary. They hunt in murky, swampy waters using the shade of the trees as cover. Tell me about coelacanths. Actually, I have no idea where coelacanths might be, but they have a primordial feel to them, don't you think? I've got all the information I need. I'll be going now. All right, everyone. While we have a short travel ahead of us, I did want to just give a quick thank you to everyone that watched my previous videos and has liked the videos that I have made. If you could please engage with the videos. Uh, I've said videos a lot at this point, but yeah, let's continue with the video and this part of Dredge. I hope you guys enjoy. More. Still empty. They point to another shape on a second scroll. This one looks like a tiger mackerel. I kept one tiger mackerel that I had caught over in the Gale Cliffs for this very purpose. However, the quality of the tiger mackerel at this point was rotting, and I hope it would work. Again, they rip into the flesh of the fish, drawing out its heart. It's consumed as quickly as the first. Almost fulfilled. They point to a fish on the final scroll. This one is a snake mackerel. I was unsure of where to find a snake mackerel at this point as I hadn't come across it in my travels, so I decided to continue about my day. While I was out exploring the ocean, I noticed that there was some fish that were deeper in the sea. Unsure of how to pull them up to the surface, I decided to continue on. You pull up to a wreck with a familiar looking hull. It's almost identical to the ship given to you by the mayor, except this one has a huge breach in one side. I decided to look in the cabin. Inside the cabin, I found a couple of points of interest that I decided to look into. The first of which were the cupboards and drawers. With everything missing from the cupboards and drawers, I decided to check the floorboards, see if I could find any ones that were loose. But then when I looked at the floorboards, there were none, so I decided to check the overhead equipment. While I was checking the equipment, a note ended up falling off, and I put it into my pocket. With the cabin being looked through thoroughly, I decided to take a look in the cargo hold and see if there was anything I could salvage from that. I ended up taking the engine, the fishing rod, and some scrap metal that I had found, as I hoped it would help me out. I left the wreck behind, concerned as to why it looked like the boat the mayor had given me. As I was scuttling away, I noticed that there was something interesting in the water and decided to try and collect it. I found a flag in the depths and quickly put it into the cargo hold before continuing to the town in the Gale Cliffs. When I pulled up to Ingfeld, I decided to talk to the resident that I noticed walking around. What is it? Do you need help with anything? Have been trying to prepare a special meal for my partner, but I've been having some issues. Around here, we consider aged conger eels to be a particular delicacy. You may say they're rotting, but they're delicious if prepared correctly. Normally, we bury them in the ground and allow them to mature, but our dog keeps digging them up and eating them. I can't raise the subject without spoiling the surprise. Can you bring me an aged conger eel? Yeah, I can. Thank you. You'll be decently compensated. Where can I find one? Ah, yes, they can be tricky to find. I'm told they inhabit the holes and burrows within the cliffs themselves. Oh, and did I mention that they only come out at night? Yes, I believe they hide during the day. I'll be going now. After taking the request, I ended up heading back to my boat before heading over to the other part of town in the Gale Cliffs, which was just a short boat trip away. An old man emerges from one of the nearby broken buildings and hobbles towards you. Oh, greetings. I don't get many visitors around here. What is it that you need? This place doesn't seem safe. Why do you live here? I've been stubbornly holding out here for quite some time. Truth be told, I've been reconsidering my position lately. I have been happily here for so long. My wife and I had such a beautiful life until the collapse. Now I'm all alone and cut off by land and sea, left only with these trembling rocks on all sides. I could help you move to Ingfell. It's not that simple. My brother would never. You see, I used to live in Ingfell with my brother. He was a whaler back in the day. Things were bad. We fought a lot, mostly about how our parents' inheritance should be divided. We were in the prime foolishness of our youth. When my wife and I decided to move here, I took the family crest. I stole it from him. Now, after all this time, I can't return without it. Where is it? That's where the problem lies. After the collapse, that creature, it dragged debris from the houses down into its wretched burrows. Crest went down with it. It's a lost cause, I know. But if you were to find it, it's a large whalebone crest. It would mean the world to me. I'll look for it. Thank you, but please, be careful. From this part of town, I decided to head back alongside the Gale Cliffs to see what I could find, and I ended up coming across a message in a bottle. It read, 9th of September, 1927. He still refuses to take me aboard when he is working. He is convinced that I will find it dull or that the crew will be crass or otherwise intolerable. Perhaps I am being overly needy. I know he needs time alone, but I am so desperately bored at home when he is away. He recently installed some salvaging equipment onto the boat. I think the idea of pulling up treasure is terribly exciting. I must convince him to let me have a go. I put the note away and continued exploring around the cliffs. I did come across an area that I wanted to explore, so I took out my spyglass and decided to take a peek inside to see if I could find anything. My fisherman instinct told me that there was something ahead, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. So I approached with caution, remembering what the hermit had said about a creature that dragged buildings down into its depths. While I was keeping my eyes peeled for the creature and taking a look around, I noticed a spot of interest that I decided to come back to once it was a little bit brighter out so I can get a better understanding of the area. I started getting this eerie feeling like things were watching me, so I decided to quickly catch what was there and head on, wanting to escape the feeling. I got back to the pontoon and rested for a few hours before continuing my excursion around the Gale Cliffs. I decided that I would head back to that area where the point of interest was to see if I could dredge it up, uh, able to see my surroundings and being able to be more cautious. I was able to dredge up the family crest with relatively no issue. It started making me think the hermit might have gone crazy considering he had talked about this creature, yet I still had not come across it. I returned to the hermit with the crest in hand. Hello again. What can I do for you? Is this your family crest? You found it. I never thought I'd see this beauty again. But now I have a further favor to ask. Would you take this to my brother at Ingfell? Tell him, tell him his brother is sorry and would like to come home. So I did just that. I went to Ingfell to talk to the whaler about his brother. What is it? I believe this crest is yours. Gods, I haven't seen that since. Hmm. So he did take it. I knew it. Your brother is sorry. Will you let him come home? Hmm. I don't know if I was in a right state when he left. Okay, fine. You can stay in my old workshop, at least for the time being. But I'll need some time to clear it out. While I'm doing that, perhaps you can do something for me. See, I've been trying to clear out some debris in the pathways through the cliffs to make a shortcut with explosives. I was able to set a charge, but the cliffs seemed particularly unsteady that day, so I didn't risk detonating it. You just need to get in there and set it off. It's not that far in. I left some yellow flags nearby. You can't miss it. Alright, I'll take care of it. And so I set it to the cliffs, but when I got there, I noticed that it was getting a little bit late, so I decided to head back to the pontoon to rest and come back the next day. Alright, so he said it wasn't too far in. I see the yellow. What is that? Oh no! Oh gosh! Ah! With my boat struck, I quickly headed towards the rocks and blew them up before quickly retreating out of the cliffs. The hermit definitely wasn't lying, as I don't think even I could make that up. I left the hazards of the cliffs towards the safety of Ingfell. I kept an eye out just in case that creature decided to follow me, as my boat was close to sinking. You've done it. We heard the blast from here. Gods, the echo. I'm surprised the cliffs didn't come down on your head. I've got things here ready. Go and tell my brother that he can come home. So I did just that. Hello again. What can I do for you? Your brother forgives you. He's found you a place to stay. He does? That's a huge weight off my chest. One so old I hardly remembered it was there. Right, well, I'm packed and ready to go. The hermit climbs aboard with all of his belongings. Well, here we are. The hermit notices the old whaler standing on the dock, waiting for him. Little brother, you're home. I'm so sorry. I was so foolish. We both were. Come inside. Let me get your bags. The two brothers walk away down the dock. One of them pauses for a moment and turns back to you. Oh, stranger, If you find any more debris that needs clearing, I'm working on making some more packed explosives. Come by the old whaling yards anytime. Here, this one is on the house. For all your help. I hope you can put them to good use, wherever you find cause for it. I bought one set of packed explosives before heading back to the traveling merchant to get my boat repaired, as I didn't want it to sink into the bottom of the ocean. I also took notice of the conger eel that I was trying to let rot for the resident. However, it had turned to mush and would probably not be what they would want. I would have to catch another conger eel in order to satisfy their request. After getting my ship repaired, I decided to head to an area that looked like it could house something. I know it was getting late, but I was willing to push it to see what was inside. Once I was in there, I did notice an item that I would be able to dredge up. When I had finally pulled up the item that was sitting in the deep, I noticed it was a part that I needed to upgrade my hull. I quickly put it into the cargo hold before heading to the area where the hermit lived to see about dredging up the item over there that had fallen into the ocean. I was wondering if this would be something similar to a note I found in this area. And when I finally was able to pull it up, I noticed it was the music box. I had ended up pushing it that night, getting to the pontoon just before 5, before I got the upgrade ready, but I did realize I was a little strapped on cash, so I wasn't able to get the upgrade just then. I decided to sleep a little extra, trying to calm down my mind as I was feeling a little bit more on edge, and I thought rest would help out with that. The following night, I ended up going back to grab a conger eel for the resident that had needed one, considering I had kind of ruined the last one I got for her. I did try and grab a couple extra to sell, so that way I would get a little extra money. Um, when I had got back to the pontoon, the merchant gave me a book. I wasn't sure what it was about, but I thought I would read it when I have a moment. I sold her the one conger heel that I had extra, leaving the other one to start trying to make it rot, so that way the resident would have the eel that they wanted. I spent time the next day collecting fish to raise funds to upgrade my hull. Once I had enough, I decided to take a look at a note that I had in my inventory. Deep sky, deep sky, deep, and it seems to go on forever. Casket seal broken, fog core, 5 equals rise. He knows. I wasn't sure what the note meant, but I spent some time in Ingfell waiting for the fish to rot so that way I wouldn't miss the opportunity to give it to the resident. Here's the age conger eel you asked for.
Perfect. This will do wonderfully. I can offer you a small sum in thanks. Safe travels.
She handed me $150, which I pocketed, and headed back to the pontoon to rest before taking off the next day, heading back to the collector to return the music box. On my way to the collector, I saw a pod of dolphins that I decided to observe before catching a deep sea fish to get a little money for this trip. Man, those dolphins sure are something. Wonder if they're looking at me the same way I'm looking at them. I arrived at Blackstone Isle with the music box in hand. So you've returned. I wasn't sure you were coming back. You drag the massive music box into the room, gouging the wooden floorboards beneath it. The collector doesn't seem to mind. He's focused on the box. You found this at the cliffs, didn't you? Yes. Ah, excellent. This should make future return journeys a little more swift. Allow me. He selects one of the silver ribbons trailing from the crimson bound book, opening it to some unseen page. Turning to catch the dim light, he whispers the words on the page. After a few seconds, you feel your stomach drop suddenly, as though thrown high by a wave. He closes the book and turns his attention back to you. Now, there are yet more relics to find. Keep looking. The reef at Stellar Basin may have caught and accumulated some wreckage. Search around that area. I'll mark a location on your map where you can begin your search. Alright, everyone, while the protagonist and the collector discuss topics about what the collector's motives are, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you made it this far, I just want to say a big thank you, and if you like what you saw, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I do want to give a special thank you to those who have been supporting me behind the scenes, as the support is really greatly appreciated and welcome, and has been helping me through this journey. I have been trying out new things, trying voices for characters, and trying to improve upon those. If you do have any recommendations on what I can improve, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And the final thing, if a hermit around a pair of cliffs that is experiencing a lot of seismic activity tells you there's a giant creature in the water, I would say believe him. Alright, this is Rogue signing off. Bye.